So we are live now. Within another 1 minute, we will start.
Okay. Dr. Anshu, I hope everybody has joined.
Yeah, hi. I see everyone except the team from MyGov.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because Ambali is there, Devika is there from Biosolve IT Opticum. Then we have Sidhu from Crescent. I don't see him. Yeah, he's there. And then we have Surajit from Chemixon. We have Anand and Ritvik from Biovia. Of course, we can see Raghu, so he's very much around. And then who I don't see primarily is Papri from MHRD.
Okay.
And Shilpi and Anubhav from MyGov. And then we have, of course, our CDAC team is pretty heavy. So there's Ashish, Sandeep, Nisha, Krishna Gopal, and I'm thinking that even Manjunath is from CDAC.
Okay.
If I'm not wrong. Yeah. So yeah, MHRD and MyGov are yet to join. Rest everybody is there.
Yes, Anshu madam. I am from CDAC.
Yes, I saw you in one of the meetings. Yeah. Right. Let me just drop one.
Okay. So shall we start? It's already 2:30.
Yes, I think. Please go ahead.
Okay. Nagamani, we can start then.
Yeah, sure.
Oh, someone else is joining still. And you can switch off all, just the slides now. And later I will request you to everybody to switch on their videos to take a snapshot.
A very good afternoon to everyone. Myself, Nagamani. Today, Vertical 1 session will be more focused on how to access the CDAC tool room. Dr. Anshu Bhardwaj from CSIR IMTech Chandigarh will lead this session. So along with her, NSM, CDAC, MyGov members, and also industrial partners have also joined to this session. On behalf of DDH-2020 training team and chairman of our committee, Dr. G.N. Shastri, we welcome the speakers, partners, and participants to this session. So Dr. Anshu Bhardwaj, she is a biologist and data scientist, obtained her PhD in 2008 from CCMB Hyderabad, and she then joined CSIR as one of the founding PIs of the open source drug discovery project in 2008. She conceived, designed, and implemented crowdsourcing as a tool to tackle challenging scientific problems to drive biomedical big data projects and lead to human resource development. And now I request Dr. Giri, who is the Vertical 3 coordinator, to introduce the partners.
Thank you so much, Nagamani. Good afternoon, everyone. So welcoming you all to once again to the Drug Discovery Virtual Tool Room session, which is one of the most expected session throughout our training programs. As a usual disclaimer, please do not share your personal details, and all the registrations have already started. Please go ahead. And all of you, please kindly type your questions in the live chat, and during the Q&A session, we'll try to answer all the questions. And today, for this particular session, we have many members in this session. As you all know, the team lead for the Drug Discovery Virtual Tool Room is Dr. Anshu from IMTech. And then we have members from CDAC, MyGov, then all the software partners like Biovia, Biosolve IT, Crescent, Chemaxon, Schrodinger, and many more others from MHRD Innovation Cell and everyone. So today, the session will be started by Dr. Anshu, and all the members will be there and happy to share their views and also help with all your question and answers. Over to you, Dr. Anshu. Thank you.
Thanks a lot, Giri. Just confirm if I am audible.
Yes.
Okay. So before we begin this session, I would like to inform everybody who is listening to this video that it's quite unusual to have 15 plus speakers to a single talk. And that's what we are having today. Whosoever you see on screen is not just a participating member, they are all speakers. It's difficult for you to understand, so I took the responsibility to speak on their behalf. So I'm representing everyone you see here. And before we go into the presentation, may I request all of you to please switch on your video for a minute so that the participant community should see the faces behind the development of the virtual tool room. For people who have done software development at any point in their life will know how difficult it is to put together separate ministries and world-class software providers together on a common platform. It's never easy. And believe everybody you see here are putting their entire might and energy in providing all possible resources to all of us so that we can fight the pandemic. So I think this is very, very appreciating for all of us just trying to put everything that we can into resolving it. So it's pretty amazing. I really cannot thank these people enough for coming out openly. And I really am not aware of any other platform where different ministries of government setup had worked with world-class partners all at the same time. So it's a pretty unusual collaboration and at that scale. And we want all the participants listening to this video live or later should make best use of this opportunity, because they are not just providing you their software, they are providing you their expertise and time, which is even more valuable. So, okay, let me now, so Giri, have you got a chance to click for everyone?
Yes. Everybody can try different so that we get multiple screenshots.
Yes.
Thank you.
Good. So let me just now go to the presentation. Can you see my slides?
Not yet.
Right.
So now everybody can switch off their video for a better bandwidth, and then you can share this.
All right. Now can you see it?
No, not yet.
Yeah, now it's coming up.
Is it loading? All right.
Yeah.
So let us give it 1 sec to be seen by everyone. All right. So just again trying to tell you the presentation is just made by me, but you have everybody listed here. Representations from MyGov. We have the team leading from CDAC, the virtual tool room. We have MHRD Innovation Cell with us. Of course, I belong to CSIR, and CSIR is also one of the organizers for the hackathon. Then we have our private partners who are providing world-class software for the hackathon at no cost at all for phase 1. So we have Biosolve IT, we have people from BioVia, Chemixon, Preset, Optibrim, and Schrodinger, and no amount of time will suffice for what they are doing for us. It's not just the application, but I'll tell you what they are offering us. So what we are getting being part of the hackathon is access to infrastructure, which is our national supercomputing resources. We are getting access to applications, which are not just the free or the open source ones, but also the ones that are provided by our partners. And of course, all of them bring, I think, a couple of 1,000 years of expertise if you add their age. So it's like the team is huge and their expertise is tremendous. It's immense set of team that we have gathered here. So of course, partners are national supercomputing resources on which this entire hackathon is based on. Just to reiterate what we did, so as all of you know that there are problem statements that we need to solve to identify potential inhibitors for SARS-CoV-2. We then identified a list of resources, both open source and proprietary, that will make it possible and easy for us to arrive at a solution. We shouldn't struggle with resources. Nobody should when there's a pandemic. It's a time for all of us to come together and address it. And I think that is what has made this platform possible. So going forward, the agenda for today's presentation is to give you clarity on how will you access this. You have already seen that a large number of training modules are already organized by many of our partners and many of our experts. So point is, how do you access it? So just to be very clear, there are two channels to access resources of the virtual tool room. Everything starts with this link, which is innovateindia.mygov.in/DDH2020. Once you go here, you register. And I'm assuming that most of the people who have registered for this hackathon have already done this step. The second step is that via the DDH 2020 organizing team, the registration detail and your choice of application is shared to DDH 2020 team, and they will then be passed on to all the 6 partners who will provide you licenses that you can run at your computer. So here the CDAC resources don't come into picture. It is a license that you are actually your own resources to execute and run. That is one route. The other route is that you can actually also use the infrastructure that the hackathon has made for you. And that is basically there is an API that we wrote. And this API has automatically takes the basic registration information from the registration of MyGov and take you to the CDAC or NSM resources. Once you are authorized, you will be access to the CDAC resource. There are 2 types of applications. One, which are partner applications. So Biosolve IT, Optigram, Biovia, and Chemixon are installed on these partner applications. Like these are already available on NSM for you to run. And then there are open or free applications, which I'll show you the list at the end of the talk, what is available. In terms of partner applications, as some of you might have exposure to drug discovery projects, some of these applications actually have a GUI interface. In order to activate the GUI interface, you need to have the licenses also installed on your machine. And given that each application comes with a different set of instructions, what I will do now is to take you through how you can work with each of those applications to get started. The objective of today's presentation is not to tell you how these applications work, because there are so many experts to tell you that. And of course, individual partners are already taking training classes. So we'll not do that today. What we will learn today is how to get there. So starting with Schrodinger and Cresset, it's pretty straightforward. Once you register, the registration details are sent to Cresset and Schrodinger, and they will issue licenses to eligible teams. So this is the model that we have worked out with Schrodinger and Cresset, and we are really thankful to them for providing application for the hackathon purposes. The bottom line is these licenses are to be used only and solely for the purposes of the hackathon and nothing else, and to solve the COVID-19 pandemic. So that is the terms and conditions of usage of these free licenses for us. And second is access to all the other 4 partner applications. Now, before I go, how do you access those 4 partner applications? There is a set of fundamental things that you should understand about how this have organized their resources, how the system is configured, how you are going to receive access details, and basically for job, right from access to job submission, what you can do. So CDAC actually created this video that I'm going to play. It's a 12 minutes video. I would like you to carefully listen to this video. Some of you who are very conversant with online may find some of this stuff very basic, but the agenda is, or the objective is to ensure that everybody understands what's going on. So we have kept the video as simple as possible. Anybody who also is a newcomer to command line or interface kind of situation will also be able to understand what's going on and can make full use of these resources. So without further delay, let me play this video to you, and maybe the team can confirm if the video is audible. Just 1 second.
CDAC's Drug Discovery Virtual Tool Room. Center for Development of Advanced Computing, CDAC, is one of the collaborators for the Drug Discovery Hackathon 2020 and extends its virtual tool room facility based on high-performance computing infrastructure for the same. CDAC is a premier R&D organization of the Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology, MITI, to carry out R&D in ICT, electronics and associated domains, and has its presence at 12 locations across the country. CDAC has carved its 6 mission mode programs. 1. Exascale Computing Mission. 2. Microprocessor and Professional Electronics Mission. 3. Quantum Computing Mission. 4. AI and Language Computing Mission. 5. IoE, Dependable and Secure Computing Mission. And 6. GenNext Applied Computing Mission. As part of the Drug Discovery Hackathon 2020, CDAC is extending its high-performance computing, HPC infrastructure, and HPC resource available under National Supercomputing Mission, along with tools and applications for the Drug Discovery Hackathon 2020. We shall now get into the details of Drug Discovery Virtual Room Facility, how to access the HPC resources, basic commands, setting up the environment, submission and execution of job on HPC cluster, along with reference job scripts, codes, and compilation commands. First, we will see how to connect to CDAC's network and access the HPC system. Users who are registered for the Drug Discovery Hackathon 2020 or the MGOV portal shall be able to access the CDAC's Drug Discovery Virtual Toolroom facility. In order to obtain the access to the Drug Discovery Virtual Toolroom facility, one needs to additionally register at CDAC portal, providing the necessary details. Once your user registration at CDAC portal is completed, you will receive an email from CDAC providing you user credentials and instructions regarding VPN connection. It should be noted that a VPN connection is required to access the CDAC network. This can be carried out using 40 client software. The same can be downloaded and installed from the URLs given in this presentation. You may follow the instructions as provided in the email to configure your 40 client software and join using your user credentials details. Let us see details about other software required like SSH and for remote data copy. After establishing the VPN connection using 40 client user credentials, you also need a SSH client to access the HPC cluster from the network. You must have proper user credentials to log into HPC system, which is different from user credentials used for VPN connection. If you are using the Windows operating system, then you can use software like Mobaxterm or PuTTY. On Linux or Mac, you can access HPC cluster using command line terminal. To copy the data from your local system to the HPC cluster or vice versa, you can use software like WinSCP or Mobaxterm from Windows operating system. On your Linux or Mac system, you can copy data through terminal using SCP. As HPC system is Linux based, let us see some basic useful Linux commands. pwd command shows the present working directory. ls command shows the contents of current directory we are in. cd is used to change or navigate across directories. To create a directory, you can use mkdir command. cp command is used to copy the data. To create or edit a file, you can use editors like vi or vim or gedit. Now, we will see how to set up environment on HPC cluster for your application or job. By default, environment is not set for your application, and hence to use installed applications, compilers on the HPC cluster, we can use the module utility. Here we will see how to set up your environment using module utility. To see available applications applications, compilers, libraries on the HPC cluster, module avail command is used. To see the loaded modules in your current shell, you can use module list command. To load a module to current shell, you can use command module load followed by name of the module. Now let us see the most important thing, how to submit or run a job on an HPC cluster. When you log into HPC cluster, you land on login nodes. Login nodes are not meant to execute jobs. These are used to submit the job to compute nodes which execute the jobs. You can set up your data, files on login nodes and compile your application there if required. HPC cluster uses a job scheduler to submit, run and manage jobs. To submit a job on an HPC cluster, you need to write a scheduler job script. Here we use Slurm scheduler software, and we will take you through some of its useful commands. To submit a job on HPC cluster, we use sbatch and name of job script file command. Now let us see sample job scripts based on Slurm scheduler. Now, what is this job script? It's a simple shell script containing all information about resources required, application environment, and execution command. Let's start with a job script for a serial job. First, user needs to specify resource requirements such as number of nodes and number of cores per node. For serial job, these values will be 1. User can also specify memory requirement. Then, user needs to specify maximum job execution time. Also, user needs to write all application-related settings such as loading of required application modules, exporting of relevant variables, etc. Finally, application execution command, including the command line parameters, must be specified in the job script. After the script is ready, the job can be submitted using sbatch command. After the job has successfully completed, the output is placed in the directory from where the job was submitted. In case of unsuccessful completion, user may refer the error file and output file generated by the executed job and can resolve any issue thereof. Now let us see how to write job script for a parallel job. Similar to a serial job script, the user needs to specify the resource requirements, execution, work time, and modules to be loaded. Based on the parallel programming models such as MPI, OpenMP, etc., used by the application execution command needs to be specified. For example, for MPI-based job, the following command needs to be given: MPI run -np, number of parallel processes, application name, and parameters. Now we will see how to write a job script for a GPU-based job. Here we need to specify that GPU type of resource is required by our job by setting appropriate values for GRES and partition. Subsequently, load GPU-enabled application modules, export relevant variables, and finally, specify execution command. This will complete your GPU job script. Now we will see other useful commands for Slurm scheduler. To see the status of a submitted job, we can use a command called SQ. SQ will show jobs of all users. Jobs can be in running or pending states. SQ-U. Your username will show only your jobs. To see the basic information about the available computational resources, we can use the sinfo command. Different types of compute nodes such as only CPU-based nodes or GPU-based nodes or high memory nodes are categorized under different partitions or queues, as can be seen here. User can choose the appropriate partition in his job script. To delete or cancel a submitted job, you can use scancel and give your job ID. This way, you can submit and monitor your jobs on HPC cluster. For our quick start, we have provided some reference material placed on the HPC cluster, and the details are given in the user guide. This consists of job scripts and sample data, as well as sample codes and compilation commands. You may copy the relevant files in your directory and use them. For more information, please refer user guide for HPC system provided to you. Hope this video tutorial is useful to get started. As mentioned, kindly refer the user guides for more details. For any further details, you may post it on the respective Slack channel. Thank you and all the best.
Yes, so I hope you all agree with me that CDAC has done an extremely decent job at providing hands-on exposure to how the virtual tool room is configured and how do you access it. And since the video is recorded, you can play it again and look at the video one more time to ensure that you have clarity on where the instructions are available so that you can go through that. Now, just to review, what you primarily need to access the virtual tool room at CDAC is you need a VPN connection that you can do by a 40-client VPN. And once you are connected, then you can use SSH-based access via PuTTY or MobiXterm to log into different machines like Shrestha or the DGX1. And then once you are there, then you can use these commands to look at all the modules that are being made available to you. Now, this is a very generic overall picture, and this access to CDAC resources via VPN and via MobiXterm is a very generic instruction. You need to follow it. Now, what we will do is we will pick up one module at a time. Like we'll say by BioVia, then we'll look at BioSolve IT, Optiprium, and Chemixon to see how these modules can be customized and accessed with help of CDAC infrastructure. Now, as told you in the initial instruction, that once you register, you have to register twice, one for the hackathon, the other time for the virtual tool room. Once you have actually accessed your virtual tool room, the CDAC resources, parallelly, you will receive a license file from the partner application. Like say, for example, in this case, we are trying to see how to access BioVia. So the BioVia team is going to send you a client file, which is client like this DDH-2020 client.exe. So there will be a license file and executable provided to you. You need to actually do a 5-step process to install it in all default fashion. So this will get the application installed at your system. All right. Now, how do you connect the application which is available at your system with the CDAC infrastructure? So for that, you need to first verify that your license is valid, and this is how you configure the license. So when you actually start your Windows, you will see BioVia app. In that BioVia, you will see the license administrator. Right click it, run it as an admin. That's the first step. And then once you do that, you go on to the license administrator menu. It will have an option which says connections. So in connections, you now need to set the connection to Shrestha here, as you can see. But given that we have several machines with NSM, they can give you another system also. So that information will come in your email, that what is the host name that you are given by CDAC. So you enter that host name, say OK, and it should show in license server connections that it is connected. The status should show connected. which means that now your license is verified at CDAC's end. Now, once that happens, then you need to configure your client. So you need to do this. This is a one-time job. You don't have to repeat it every time you want to use a Discovery Studio. So you just need to click on the client and just allow your graphics to be used for this application and say OK, and you are done for it to be used subsequently. Then in your client side, you'll see a button which is View. And in that Explorers, you need to click on all the protocols like your jobs, tools, parameters, and options to activate respective windows should be turned on. Once you have done this, then the next part is to connect your client side to the CDAC cluster. See, initially what we did was we did that for the license. Now you have to ensure that your client side computation happens on the CDAC resources. So there, when you see that you are connecting with the client, there will be a small option here to say server. You go here and you add again the same host name that CDAC has provided you. Once you do that, you click on test and then you click on OK. And then your front end, you will see the front end at your machine, but the backend computations will happen on the CDAC cluster, which means that you will have the privilege of using the GUI, but your computation, high-end computation is happening at the NSN resources. And if you see here, this is the final layout of the client. And as shown in the CDAC video, that for anything to be executable on the CDAC machines, they have to be converted into a script. So this for submitting jobs, there are certain parameters that you need to set here. And the BioVia team will take you through the details of how you can submit individual jobs. But this GUI takes the input, converts it into a script, and run it on the CDAC machines. So this is a pretty straightforward way in which you can access BioVia. And now I think we can move to BioSolve IT. Now BioSolve IT also, like other partners, have provided their entire package for us to be used. And there are two packages. One, as you can see here, CSAR. The other one is FlexX. So if you can see here, we can write CSAR. So as you can see here, we are saying module load. Now all of this is happening because you're already connected with the CDAC VPN. And then you are logged in to SSH via MobaXterm. And when you type CSAR and thread count 20, which is your the number of CPUs that you would like to use, then it actually loads a GUI. And this GUI is not loaded at your end, it is at the server side. And now what you have, you actually can now utilize this GUI to submit jobs and for visualization. So we have made efforts, like the entire team that you see here today has made efforts to ensure that the resources are not just provided, but they are provided in a fashion which allows it for you to be using it in a very, very easy fashion. And likewise, for Optiprium also, like StarDrop is more popular, you connect via VPN, you will have the license from Optiprium, and in that particular installation, you then go to your manage licenses component. And once you go to the manage licenses component, here is where you have to define the details of your server access. So as you can see here, you will receive the license key with the password from Optiprium. Once you add the license, then you actually add details or the IP address. Now this is the IP address for Shrestha. So you now apply the IP address, give the different port number and connect it. Once you are connected, the way you were using other applications, you can also use StarDrop. So these are very, very simple ways in which these applications are provided to you so that the GUI is not lost, but you can also at the same time make use of the high performance computing environment at the back. Moving forward, what I would like to show you, see Chemexon again, as you know, is a suite of applications. So there are many, many products of Chemexon that are provided to us as hackathon participants. But some of these things are pretty fancy in the sense that they have a similarity search algorithm called MATFAST. And what what Chemexon has done is to provide us with a GUI that we can use for faster searching. So I will show you two examples here. One example is how you can just invoke different commands like file format conversions which are inbuilt into Chemexon module. And the others are how do you use MATFAST to convert it into a GUI. So if you look at the screen capture here, what we are doing, again, the same thing. I'm repeating this step because this is something that you will have to do with every application. So when you look at module aware, Chemixon is written there as jchem suite /jchem. So you know that you need to load this module because you need to use it. Once you load the module, which means that now all the executables of the module are accessible for you to run. So a simple example is, let us run molconvert. So molconvert is nothing but it's a file format converter. And what we are doing is we are converting a smile string into a .mol file. So when we know that there are several applications which will work on one format and not on the other. So this comes very handy in terms of doing format conversions. There are many format conversions also on CDAC like OBabel, and other applications are also available. Now, with respect to MATFAST, let me just go back a little bit so that you can take a look at the script. So if you see here, this is a script that is provided by Chemixon. So it's an API script, REST API small.sh. So when you execute this script, what it does, it actually runs a set of commands. And these set of commands are making the MATFAST ready to be available on a web browser to you and not a command line, because searching a database in a command line can be a difficult job. And then once the script is finished, then you give this command, which is ssh-l 1234 localhost 8085. And here it says Chemixon @ the IP address of the machine or the host that you are working with. In your case, you are going to replace this Chemixon with your own username. So like say, for example, I will write my username here and @ the IP address of the system on which I'm working. And then I execute this command. What this command will do is it will start hosting the MATFAST similarity search algorithm on the local browser at my end. Let's see how it does that. So when I execute this command, it runs. It is asking for my password, of course, because I am logging in through this SSH module. Once I provide this command, you see it has executed. Now I go back to my browser, which is on my system. Type localhost :1234, and as you can now see, you have an entire set of molecule sets that are available for search. They say, for example, I want to search the NCI database. So I click on NCI. At the back end, MATFAST loads NCI automatically. And now I can use Marvin to basically draw molecules. And as you can see, as and when I am drawing these molecules, they are practically being searched in this database in real time. Now, the point is, a couple of databases are configured by Chemixon already, not all. So there is a provision for the team to customize any database, if it's a local database that you have, or if it's a publicly available database like PubChem or ChemSpider or something else that you would like to use, like CAS has released their 50,000 antiviral molecules. So all of this can be customized by you for access to this interface. And there is a small tutorial for that, which I have provided a link here. So it actually tells you how to configure a data set for MATFAST search. So this is basically, again, pretty simple. So Chemixon is available to us via command line. And if you want to use their instant JChem or other modules, then they will independently send you the license. But the connectivity between the JChem versus the interface to CDAC is not there. So either you are working on the CDAC machine for Chemixon or on your machine when you are using instant JChem. So the reason I'm individually taking these applications is because every application is provided and configured in a very different manner. Now, going ahead, just to repeat, the objective of today's presentation was to clearly convey to you the access modalities of the virtual tool room, which comprises of both the partner applications as well as open source applications provided either directly by the partners or through the CDAC or NSM resources. The basic access detail is you need to register once for MyGov. Then you need to re-register if you want to access the infrastructure with CDAC. And of course, if you are comfortable with command line interface, they are readily available. You don't need to have an independent license. But if you need GUI, or particularly for GUI-based applications, you will need to do both. You will need to re-register at CDAC as well as you will receive the license that you need to install at your machine and then connect the two. So I've provided details of those connectivity in this presentation. It will be available for you to see in a video and learn. And of course, our partners are available. As you can see, all of them are here today to answer any questions now or later that you have on the access to these resources. Moving forward, this is a set of a list of sample open source or free applications. So as you can see that we have a set of applications like Pedal, OBabble, RDKit for mostly chem informatics associated applications. You have free energy calculators like FEB. Then we have applications for docking as well as MD. And going forward, you have again applications for visualization or to look at the protein structure, stereochemistry, or looking at the lichen-based pharmacophore detection. And there are certain general purpose applications for doing the simple blast or doing side blast, and then statistical packages like R. There are several other things available on CDAC resources. But if you don't find the application that you need to address a specific problem statement, you can install those applications as well. And if you think if they will be of use to other participants in the hackathon, you can also provide it to them. If you find any difficulty in installation of any of these applications, you can, of course, write to us, write to the partners, write to CDAC, and we are there to help you out. So the whole point is the entire team has gathered here to ensure that this is provided to all of us so that we all can be more worried about the study design, more worried about how do we solve the challenge rather than worrying about installing these things or running them or arranging for infrastructure. That was the whole idea behind setting all this up. And of course, for the members who are looking at addressing ML or AI-based problem statements, they would like to work with this deep learning framework. They would want this. If you think anything needs an upgrade or you need to install anything else, you can do it on your own. Otherwise, you can ask us to do it. We'll be very happy to support the community. Now, this is my last slide. But this is a very, very important slide, and I would like everybody to listen to this carefully. So given that at different stages in the hackathon, we could not have done this whole activity in a serial fashion, like identifying of partners, then setting up the resource, and then providing access. So we started doing everything in parallel so that we are not delayed by any of the bottlenecks that we will face. So that is why you see that we already have the registrations going on for the hackathon for a few days now. We already got the training going on for a few weeks now. So you can see that when you are not working in a serial order, in parallel, you can achieve much more than that. But there are certain challenges. Like say, for example, right now, we need to know which participants wants access to which partner application. Now that information we don't have. So what we have decided is that the MyGov team is working on a second stage of a registration page. So anybody who is a new user will now have to complete 2 registration forms, one which is already there, the other one which will be available next week. But the first registration form remains the same. The second registration form primarily is to capture the requirement on partner applications. Would you like to work with Schrodinger? Would you like to work with Biovia? Or is your problem statement better addressed by using ChemExon or BioSolvIT or Optibrim or Crescent? Now that is a decision that you can take in consultation with your mentors, in consultation with the experts that you see here on call today, and based on your literature understanding, based on what you find more useful for a particular application or for solving a particular question. So depending on what you need, we will be able to then pass on that information to our partners so that they can provide you the licenses. That is for the new users. Now, since the registration is on for a couple of days now, we already have some previous users who have already registered. They will not miss on anything. The second stage registration form will be sent to them. And they can actually, at the same time when a new user is giving their request, the previous user will also be giving their request for the requirement. So nobody will lose any opportunity to seek partner applications or to have them access the NSN resources. So nothing is lost. It's just one extra stage that we all are working to ensure that when partners are providing you so much resource, then we need to identify the most optimal way to avoid misuse, to ensure it's a more efficient system. We have worked out this kind of a strategy. And given that we are working with very sensitive web applications, every time a slight modification we are making on the web page, so it's not like running our lab pages that we make a change and we publish it. Every time even a small modification is made, we need to take it through a security audit procedure. So it's not a delay that you are seeing. It's a delay because all of these pages that you are working on are very, very sensitive. NSN resources are extremely sensitive to attack. Likewise, MyGov, we need to ensure all security protocols are in place when we're providing you something. So next week, you should see the revised registration form for the new users. For the previous users, you will receive a link for second stage registration form. And that is when our partners will are very aggressively waiting to provide you access to all these resources. And I think this was a very, very critical message. That is why I kept it in the end, because I would like you to remember this. And anybody that you know is participating and has not seen this video already, please convey the same message to them. We are trying our best to organize this thing among several partners as a consolidated resource for the hackathon participants. And we do hope that this is ready to be accessed as soon as possible. Everybody is aggressively at it. And that the testimony for that is a very simple thing, that everybody you see on call today are pretty serious people. Despite the fact they're here for past 1 hour just to ensure their commitment to the hackathon. So believe me, everyone us at this side of the table is taking this very, very seriously, and we expect that, and we truly, sincerely want you to use it. That is the message that I want to give away on behalf of all of us sitting here. And with that, I would like to thank you, and we would like to hand it over to Giri to see if we have any questions. And all the partners are available for with us to answer any questions you have. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Dr.
Thank
Anshu, for that detailed explanation. I think Nagamani will be taking over, so he has access to the questions and others. Please, Nagamani.
Yeah, sure. So thank you, ma'am. Thank you very much for your presentation and most awaited presentation, how to access the CDAC tool room as well as how to submit the job. So one of our moderator, Dr. Himakshi Sharma, she already collected the questions which is available. So many students has posted over there in the YouTube channel. So now I hand over the session to Dr. Himakshi to ask questions which is available in the internet.
Hello, am I audible?
Yes.
Thank you. So, thank you, ma'am, for this wonderful and very informative demonstration of CDAC tool room. I think this is the most important session of DDH training program, wherein participants will get to know how to perform and where to perform the calculations to solve the problem statements. So it's really wonderful to have you all. So I received few questions from YouTube. So shall we start, ma'am? Okay. So the first question is, one student is asking, on what basis eligibility is decided for accessing the virtual tool room?
I must say it's a very difficult question, but see, the point is I would also see if Papri is around. I don't see her. Let me take this up. See, the point is that you are there, Papri?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay. So I'll start and then I'll hand it over to Papri. So as you know that we would prefer And these challenges are addressed in a team-based fashion with a mentor. And that is what might have seen in the hackathon participation details as well. So I think eligibility is mostly decided by the CSS. And once you access these licenses, you are basically signing with the commitment that you are going to solely use them for the purpose of COVID-19 projects and nothing else. That too for solving the hackathon problem statements. So that's an undertaking that you are giving to the DDH-2020 community as such. Seriousness, I know it's very hard to judge, but of course, if you are a part of a team who has a mentor, of course, it tells us that you're serious because you made the effort to go forward, set up a team, and identify a mentor and look at a problem statement seriously. So yeah, that is one way of us knowing that you are serious. Papu, please go ahead and educate them further on how do we identify eligibility of partners.
Anshuji, I think you have said already, and I don't have anything to add with this. But it's just to reiterate the basic criteria to participate in DDH is you can be a student, a researcher from industry, from academia. You can be a faculty, and you can apply for the hackathon as an individual or as a team. So as an individual, if you are applying, you might, it's recommended to have a mentor, but not mandatory. As a team, if you are joining, you have total 6 members, including the team lead, plus 2 mentors, that is mandatory. And before you go for some tool room, virtual tool room, you have a discussion with the mentor, and based on what problem statement you are applying for and whatever tool serves you the best, you apply for it. And if you and your team and your mentor thinks that's the best way to address your idea or your problem statement, that's about it. I don't think we have any other particular specification for that virtual studio access.
Thank you, ma'am. So, Anshu, ma'am, anything you would like to add?
So the hackathon rules are framed by MHRD, and Papu represents the MHRD himself. So of course, that's the final word on that.
Okay, okay. So second question is how to use Schrodinger module in a virtual tool room as we don't have higher computer facility.
Okay. So currently, we are giving only to the personal computers or your institute computers. So that's what is allowed by the management. So that's one of the bottleneck. Let us say, if there is an option to come, we don't have any option as of now.
Thank you, sir. So in connection of this question, only one more thing I would like to add. Is the Schrodinger is adding water map to the tool room?
No water map and no FEP plus. Except these two, you will get other modules.
Okay, thank you, sir. So third question is the license will be given only to the mentors or to all the team members?
See, when we give the license, it is to a group. So we'll be giving you a server-based license, and it can be accessed by all the team members as well as to the mentor. Everybody can access it. So we're giving a multi-user license.
Himakshi, I want to add one more line with this.
Sure.
So basically, the idea is when somebody is applying as an individual, and if he or she needs the license or the access, it will come to that person from that particular partner of us. And if somebody is applying as a team where 6 team members and 2 mentors are involved, then the license will come to the team leader only, whereas all the team members as a part of the team can access it. But it will be given to the team leader only, not to all the 8 individual team members and the mentor. it will come to team leader. And if you are applying as an individual applicant, then it will come to you only.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you. I hope this is
Dr.
clear.
Anshu, can you add your comments also to this question based on CDAC resources?
Yeah, so basically, because this question is specifically for Shraddha, I think Ravi has already answered that. And as Papi mentioned, that we will be providing the software license to the team lead. For CDAC resources, we have not kept any such gap. So individual members will, even if they are individual or as 16 members, each one of them can have an account and they can execute the application. So that capping is not with the CDAC resources.
Okay, so shall we go for the next question? Thank you, ma'am. So one question is, how to apply for license?
Oh, so I think the entire talk was about that. So how do you do that? Yeah, I think everyone wants to add something. Please go ahead.
Yeah, okay. So when it comes to Schrödinger, like the way what we are planning is like the Anshu and the CDAC team will send us the selected participants list. Once the list is sent to us, like we will contact the participants. We'll tell you like, okay, how to go and register, what is the some code words we are going to give. You have to use that code word and go and register in our website. And then we'll give you the login ID and password. You can go and access and download the software. The beauty is now we have released a very new release, brand new release with so many features, like so many new scientific developments. It is one way like the people who are all going to use the new version will really love it. With lot many features are added in the current version. And once you download it, like you have to send us the MacID output. If you have any doubt, we have a technical person, IT person working on, like, okay, who will help you, guide you out. Like we'll send you all the email IDs, contact numbers, whom you have to contact in case if you face a problem in downloading, if you're facing a problem in installation, or if you're facing a problem even like to access the software, if you need additional training, we are ready to provide you all those things. So in case of like in Schrödinger, like you don't have to worry much like, okay, how to go and access the CDAC server kind of the commands and other things. We will make sure the license is given and it is made like at your computer, like it is executed and you're able to open the GUI and how to run it, etc. And so all those facility, all those would be made sure like, okay, your license is functional and working. So that we will make it. And the training videos which are all going on, like you can access those things. If you still need any doubts and things, we are there to support. Our technical team would be there, our scientific team would be there to support you. Only this week, like our entire company is on vacation. So it will be delayed if somebody is asking for us in the coming week. We are open, but some of us would be definitely will be replying, but it might be delayed. But like from first, like entire Schrödinger, US, the world widely would be working on a full-fledged way.
Dr. Anshu, since already Raghu has started, I think all the other partners also can tell about their licensing, how they are.
Yeah, thank you, Giri. This is Krish from Crescent. Is it okay if I start?
Yeah, Krish, please go ahead.
Yeah, thank you, Dr. Anshu. So, we will also follow a similar process. So once we get the list of participants from Dr. Anshu and RD, we'll be sending a registration link through which all the participants who are interested to work on Crescent tools can register themselves. And those who register, we will send them individual emails with appropriate software. So what we have also done is we have mapped out the software that would be required for each problem statement. So if you need help with what software modules are required for any specific problem statement, you can write to us. We will send those details, and accordingly we'll send you the licenses for those modules that you're working on. Apart from this, we are also planning to provide some additional trainings during the hackathon process. So all those participants who registers with us for the licenses will get additional training, and our support is already there. So anybody who's using Crescent software will get support, even though it is free. So you can always write to us. So I think that's the process we follow. So any queries that you have, you may write to Dr. Anshu or any person in MHRD, and they'll definitely pass it over to us. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Can we go for next question?
Himanshi, other partners are also there, so let them also finish. Sorry, like BioVia is there, then Chemaxon is there. Yeah.
I was thinking that we can start with Biosol YT and then BioVia, and then we can look at let us listen to everybody because I was thinking of asking everyone to talk after the Q&A, but I think it's a nice time to listen to us.
Yes.
Yeah, so I think from Biosol YT we have Ambili around. Are you there?
Hi, myself Ambili. Am I audible?
Yes.
Okay. So I'm representing Biosol IT. So we are providing FlexX as well as CSAR on CDAC HPC. This software tools will help the participants to perform molecular docking study for a large compound dataset. So already in CDAC server, we have enabled the databases for the ligands so that the participants could do a virtual screening for a large number of compounds. So FlexX basically works on command line. We have not shown it here, but during our training sessions, we'll be giving the extensive presentation on how to execute it. And on the upcoming sessions, we'll be giving the presentations on how to perform these calculations on the CDAC tools. So if any of the participants are, if they wish to perform a docking study using the specific set of ligands, the FlexX command line requires two inputs. That is, the first one is the ligand library, which should be in the 3D SDF format, and the receptor definition. So receptor definition could be generated by using CSAR software, and then these input files can be exported to the CDAC portal or the CDAC HPC cluster. Once the calculations are done, the output or the docking forces which you get from the FlexX could be exported to CSAR for performing further analysis like torsional alerts, binding affinity calculations, atom-based binding affinity calculations and all. Even CSAR can perform the large compound library docking. But if there is any bandwidth issues, we prefer you to go with the FlexX. And we have a support team. If any participants are facing any problems, we are here. We are happy to help. You could always write to MHRD or to us for providing support.
Thanks, Ambili. I think I can now request Ritwik and Anand to please take over. Yeah.
Hello, can you hear me? This is Ritwik here. We have given access to the complete Discovery Studio suite. And
could you please be louder? The volume is too low. Hello?
Hello, can you hear me?
Still the volume is low.
Okay. Hello, can you hear me?
Better, yes.
Yeah, okay. So the complete Discovery Studio suite is available to you after your registration at the site, MHRD site. You will be given a link to which you have to register to get the access for the Discovery Studio client. And just as Anshu madam has explained to you how to connect your client to the CDAC servers, you can follow the procedure, right? So every documentation will be available to you, including the tutorials. If there are any questions, please do feel free to write to us. Right? Thank you.
Anand, would you like to add anything to what Ritwik said?
Hi, Anand's not here, Rahul here. Good afternoon, everyone.
Yeah, so Anand had to, I think, drop off.
Oh, great. So no problem. You are here to. Yeah, please, Rahul, please go ahead.
I'm so sorry. So thanks, Dr. Anshu, for taking this session. I think it was one of the most important ones because while people work on theory, they need to know how to start using the tools now. From a BioVia perspective, I would just like to add that we have included the complete modules for Discovery Studio that could be needed by the participants all the way till the third phase of the project. But that said, the capabilities are there, all the facilities, the CDAC server from a technical competency point of view. I don't see any of the participants feeling any issues or any lags while running their jobs and getting their projects done in time. So all the best from the whole team at BioVia for all the participants. We would love to work with you. Thank you.
Thanks, Rahul. Thanks, Ritvik. Suruji, are you around?
Yes, ma'am. Am I audible?
Yes, very much. Please go ahead.
Yes. So, thank you for showing all of us how you can actually access the server. So, all the modules that we have provided over here at the CDAC server and the additional modules that are available, I would not say that the complete suite of Chemexon products. There are a lot more products that are available, but we don't think that it is of mass usage in this scenario. So, we have not offered them. However, you can always go to the Chemexon product page. If you feel that there is something that you would want to use, we are absolutely open to providing you that also. Now, coming to the licensing, as Dr. Anshu mentioned, there are two kinds of applications that we have provided. One is the server-based, which is on the CDAC servers, and the other one would be desktop-based. So for the CDAC-based tools, we would not need to provide you a license. We just need to have your details so that we can add you as a user. The license is already there in CDAC server. We have given a license for unlimited number of users. So any number of participants who want to use, they can use by logging into the CDAC server. And when you want to use the desktop tools, through the same process that Dr. Anshu mentioned, you will have to share the details and we will share a license key with you, with which you can access the desktop tools. One addition that I would like to make, there was a bit of miscommunication, I believe. So with Instant JKM, you will still be able to access the databases that are there on the CDAC server. Okay, if you are connected through VPN, so Dr. Anshu showed us the similarity search. So you will also be able to do substructure search, superstructure search, duplicate search. All of those kind of searches are also possible directly on the CDAC interface also, or via your desktop where you use the Instant JKM as an interface and the computing power of the CDAC web servers. So all of that is accessible. We are more than happy to provide you the licenses. We have already done, I guess, 4 sessions on the Chemexon tools that are offered. They are on the same YouTube channel. You can refer to them, and we are more than happy to answer any queries that might be raised.
Yeah, thanks, Surojit, for that clarity. I think what I said in my talk was that it was not accessible, but thanks for clarifying that it is. I have not used it, so now I'll go and use it also. Thank you for
just one thing that we have provided this CDAC server. The tools on the CDAC server can also be used on your individual systems, irrespective of your computer configuration. It is just that if you want to handle, let's say, 14 million molecules or 14 billion molecules, you cannot do it on your own system. However, if you want to do the same thing with 14,000 molecules, you can use it on your own computer. But if you want higher computing power, you should go to the CDAC server, and they have been very kind to provide this kind of server to everyone for their usage.
Yeah, that's great, Surojit. Thank you so much. And that brings us to Devika, who is from Optigram. Devika, are you there?
Hi, everyone. I'm Devika here from Optigram. Am I audible?
Yes.
Hello, am I audible?
Yes.
Yes. Thanks, Dr. Anshu. Dr. Anshu showed how to connect to the license server. So after the registrations, once we get the participant list, we'll give access to the star drop by giving login credentials. So you can enter the login credentials, and then you can add the IP address and port number on the license as well as for the auto modular module. So auto modular module also connects to the same server, and the calculation will be running on the CDAC server. So in StarDrop, we're just downloading the software, and the calculation will be carried out on HPC servers for machine learning based QS here. So otherwise, the preparation of data, analysis of data, exporting pictures, everything can be done locally on machines.
Sounds perfect. And I would really not like to miss on. I think Shilpi has joined.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, Devika. Shilpi is Anubhav with you?
Hello, Anshu. Hello, ma'am. Yes.
Yeah, great. So we have Shilpi and Anubhav from the MyGov team, and they are basically doing everything at the front end. So I would also like, request them to basically convey the new registration form details to our microphone members. Shilpi and Anubhav, please go ahead.
So actually, Anubhav is not there and not here. He hasn't joined. He has some other engagements. Yeah, regarding registration form, the team lead, when he starts filling up the registration form, and the team lead enters the details of team member. Details means like the name and email ID of the team member. Once he fills up these details, an email ID, an email is goes to the team member for the registration link, and the team member then can click on the link received on the email, and then they are redirected to the registration form and they can fill their details there. Similarly, for the mentor registration also, once the team lead fills the details of mentor, an email goes to the mentor, and then mentor receives a link in that email, and through that link they can fill up their details. But before the registration form opens, every user who is participating be registered on mygov.in. So they should first register, make their profile on MyGov. That is the first registration process. And then the registration for drug discovery hackathon, this step starts. Yeah.
All right. That's very helpful, Shilpi. And as I was showing in the presentation, so Shilpi and her team at MyGov are working to create the second stage registration, where we exactly know who needs which application, and we can make the whole process more streamlined. Which we all are working on it very, very actively. It will happen very soon. And before we go forward to other questions, I would really like to request the CDAC to say a few words. They really have been doing all the background job for past 3 months. They're head deep into this. So yeah, Ashish and his team is there. So I would really request you to say a few words, Ashish, on the virtual tool room.
Good afternoon, everyone. So it has been a lot of effort configuring these many applications, coordinations with so many merchant applications, open source tools. I think all things are ready. Now we have to give you the access. The registration page is also ready from our end. At connection point between MyGov and that our site is pending because of some very minor security issue. So I hope that this will be over today, tomorrow. Monday, hopefully you should be able to register to virtual tool room. And once you register, I think we will take a couple of days because we need to understand what kind of requirements all users having. Depending on that one, we will be allocating NSM resources to them. But this tool we are talking, 3-4 tools, all are ported on a particular system. So we will have to seek those who are looking for this tool, they should clearly specify they are going to use this tool, because for that reason we will have to allocate a particular resource. If you are looking for open source or general purpose tools, we have different systems, so we will allocate you there. So once you get this for registration form for access virtual tool room, please fill it very clearly with your requirements. That will help us to identify the right resources for you. You also understand number of participants are quite large, and supporting all of you will be very challenging. So please go through this video again and again, and we will also sharing you some documents. We will try to help you all the way we can help. Sandeep, you have any other point to add?
No, nothing, Ashish, to be added to this. Just that, as you mentioned, we'll be sharing user guides. There'll be a Slack channel. So please post on that your queries.
So that's it from our side.
Thanks, Ashish. Thanks, Sandeep. So, yeah, I'm actually going to calculate man-hours that has gone setting it up, Ashish. I know what you're doing. So yeah, it's amazing. And we are writing the hackathon on the NSM resources. There is no doubt on that. So going forward, we can actually take a few questions and maybe go forward.
Yes, ma'am. Few questions we can take. So next question is, thank you all the industry partners for expressing your remarks. So next question I would like to take. One student asking, I have an i3 processor system. Can I access all the softwares? Shall I repeat, ma'am? The participant has i3 processor system. So will it be possible for him to access the softwares in CDAC?
So with CDAC, so there are three people could answer to this. One is Raghu to see if Schrodinger will run. The other is Preset. If Preset will try like Fish. And the third is CDAC if there is a limitation for mobile external or VPN for the client to be installed on IP machines. I don't see a problem, but yeah, please go ahead. Raghu, Krish, and Ashish, please go ahead and address for your individual applications.
So in case of Schrodinger, i3 should be okay, but like we need to know more information about what is the RAM you have, what is the graphics card you have. So probably you can send an email to us, and if it is there, like yes, we'll support you.
Yeah. Hello. Yeah. So i3, yes, we do support. So and I think most of the latest workstations or laptops or desktops are powerful. So for desktop applications, so most of our desktop applications will run without much problem. But getting some more information, we'll be able to let you know how much of calculations or how big calculations you can run on that. So you can always reach out to us to get that information.
Regarding accessing NSM resources, I think you just require a thin client like PTM over term. So I think i3 is good for that. You can go ahead.
Shall we go?
Yes, please.
Hello.
Yeah, we can take the next question as the experts have commented. But of course, some of the applications, even with the basic information, we know that they're not going to get stuck. But for running Schrodinger, Raghu will need more details on the entire system configuration before we can really comment.
Thank you, ma'am. Shall we go for the next question? Okay, ma'am. One last question I would like to take due to time constraint. Is the software will be available free for practice session for registered candidates?
Yeah, I don't see a problem that why it should not be, because if you are registered, you already have access. We would request that the hackathon participants. Of course, training is important; it is necessary. But please refrain from yourself from using only this for training. If you have trained yourself, come with the mindset to contribute something. See, at the time of pandemic, it's the collective intelligence of all of us which is going to bring us out of this. And believe me, this is not the only pandemic. You know, if you look at antimicrobial resistance and other infections, there are so many growing up at the back end. So I think this is the time when it's important that we train ourselves, and I think that is why all the partners have come forward to teach us how to best use their applications, and not just that, they are experts on drug discovery. They beyond their application, they know the nuances of the field. They know what is the state of the art. So make use of this opportunity, but with the objective to contribute, learn and contribute. Learning is something that we are heavily investing in. The DDH training team at least is putting in all the energy. But try to learn and contribute. That would be the message from my end. If any other partner or any other speaker today would like to add to it, please go ahead.
Thank you, ma'am. Anybody would like to add anything?
See, anyway, it is available free only, right, for the next 2 months or 3 months, so they can use it. No issues with us. Yeah.
So I guess it is basically the mentor who will decide that are you using it for practice or are you using it for solving the problem statement. So it is not the partners who are concerned about that, because most of us are already giving you the software free of cost. How to utilize it during these 3 months is completely up to you and your mentor.
Thank you, sir.
For Biosolve IT, hello? Hello?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, I'm Ambali, representing Biosolve IT. Hello?
Yes, we're listening, ma'am. Please.
Yeah, so for the participants who are requesting or who could use the Biosolve IT or StarJob platforms, they could request the evaluation license so that they can go for a training session.
Yeah, so I think a general message that every expert here is giving away is that since the licenses are free, they will absolutely have no problem in being used for training. But as I said, they are doing this because, of course, they would like us to be trained, as well as they would like us to contribute also. So I think the message is get trained well, make use of this opportunity. All these people who you see here are otherwise quite expensive, guys. So in that case, if they are right here for you to teach, to basically for us to teach us, I think we should make best opportunity of this platform.
Thank you, ma'am.
Dr. Anshu, if you permit, I have a question.
Yeah, please. Go ahead.
Ma'am, you explained about how people can register for the licenses available through CDAC. You also mentioned that they can also choose the licenses like Crescent and Schrodinger, where they get individual licenses. So does that come in the form where they register, or how do you provide that access to them?
Yeah, so that is what I was showing in the last slide, Krish, that there will be a second stage registration form that you cannot see right now. This is the process. You should be, like all of us should be able to see it next week.
Okay.
In that, we will provide list of all the partner applications, and it will also have an option of saying not required, because if somebody does not want to use any of the proprietary tools, it is their choice. But we are still going to offer it to everyone, saying that if you make this, please make a selection. Once they make a selection, then we, the TDH organizing team, will receive the details from MyGov. And then we will appropriately, depending on who has opted for which application, will convey to you the details of how do you send the licenses to them.
And ma'am, one more question. Does the participant get a choice to select multiple of tools, or is it a single tool that they can select?
See, right now we have not kept it as a restriction that select only 1 or 2 or 6. They can do that. But if we see that there are people opting for everything, we may do an inquiry to understand why exactly do they need everything for. There is not a problem because it's a free license, but still we would like to know a little bit more from the participants on how they would like to use all the applications in specific problem statements. Because one team is looking at the problem statement, that is the equation. So yeah, that will also help us to understand what exactly are they doing with these applications. If they have identified a very inventive way of building a pipeline with putting several of them together. So yeah, there is no constraint.
I mean, I don't have any problem they getting access to all but I definitely feel that they should be given that chance or opportunity to select more than one tool, because there might be Thank you.
Right, they will have the option to select more than one for sure.
Right. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone. So, on behalf of DDH training team and DDH chairman, Dr. B. Narahari Sastry, I thank you, ma'am, and all the virtual tool room team and industrial partners for joining with us and sharing their valuable time with the participants. So it's really commendable, the effort that you all have made to make the CDAC virtual tool room and giving all the training sessions every day. So we will wind up the session here, ma'am. And for the I think few of the questions I did not take, but I feel if the participants watch the video again, it will be clear. So thank you, ma'am, for joining with us. For the participants, I would like to request, please join with us for vertical 2 session 4 p.m. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, everyone. Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.